Hi guys, so today we're going to be editing some flames onto a picture of a person. So we're going to open up a file of our person, then a selection of flame images, and we're going to copy these in the usual way. So I'm going to select a large area around the flame. It's best if you select lots of black around the outside of it. Press Ctrl C to copy, then click onto the image I want it to go on and press Ctrl V. Once the image is pasted in, just like before, we're going to change our screen layer mode. So from normal, I'm going to click and change that to screen so that the image becomes semi-transparent and you can see all of the black has disappeared. Then I'm going to Control T to transform the image, and I'm going to start by positioning it in the place I think it sort of fits best around the hand. I can resize it at this point by dragging the corners or the edges to kind of get the scale to work. And I'm going to look for something that's a pretty good fit around the top of the hand, so it feels like the flames are coming from the fingers. That seems to work pretty well. When I'm happy, I press return. Then I'm going to zoom in on the image, so Control plus, get a little bit closer to it, and I'm going to look to warp the image a little bit more. So I'm going to use Edit, Transform, Warp this time. And I'm going to use that just to pull the picture so that I feel like it fits around the fingers a little bit more closely and around the lower arm. So I really want it to feel like the flames are coming from the hand and being controlled by the hand. So that is starting to feel like a pretty good fit there. Then again, click return. Just as usual, I might want to remove some elements of the image. So I'm going to add a layer mask as we normally would. And then I'm going to use a paintbrush tool with black and a really soft edge, so the hardness of a brush all the way down. Remember to change the size of a brush. You can increase and decrease by using the bracket keys. I'm going to turn off the background layer, and the first thing I'm going to do is just go around the outside edge just to make sure there's no straight lines on the black, just in case that shows up. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to turn back on my background layer. Then I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. I'm just going to have a look around and see if there's anything else I want to move on the image, anything else I want to remove. So I'm just looking for anything I feel shouldn't be there, making sure I'm on my layer mask. I'm going to use a black paintbrush tool to get rid of anything I don't want. So perhaps don't want these little bits here, that little highlight. All these little bits just coming off the edge of a flame there. That's starting to look pretty good. So I could add the same image again. So I could go back and copy it again, or just paste again. So I'm going to zoom out, Control V, paste the same image in again, and change the layer mode again to screen. What I could do now is try and manipulate it in a few different ways. So I'm going to use Edit, Transform, and flip it horizontally so that the image is now facing the other way around. I don't know, I think I might flip it the other way as well. Edit, Transform. I'm going to flip it back and then Edit, Free Transform, and rotate it. So I'm going to use this area here as if that's around the back of the hand, and then just rotate so that this bit feels like it's sort of coming in underneath. Okay, that's starting to work pretty well. I think that looks pretty good. Again, add a layer mask, which I'm going to use to remove the bits I don't want on the image. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to turn the layer on and off to see if there's anything coming through I don't want. So immediately I can see this area up here where we can see the wood that the flames are burning on. We don't want that. Perhaps don't want some of these bits here, or this element. And this bit looks like it comes off the top of the arm too much. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. For the edit to look really good, what I want to do is try and cut the flames off at a natural end. So there's a bit of a curve there in the flame. So I'm going to try and fade it back to that point. There's probably quite a lot going on in this middle area as well. So again, I might remove some of those flames. I'm going to turn off the other layer and perhaps get rid of a couple of these flames in the middle of the hand. Again, looking for a good sort of logical point to cut those out. That's feeling a little less cluttered now. And I'm going to go back onto Edit, Transform, and Warp. I'm going to use that just to pull the corner of a hand in a little bit. Press return when I'm happy. Okay, the last thing I want to do is change the colour of the flame so they more closely match the colour of the face. So at the moment the flames are really orange and the colour on the side of the face is a bit more magenta. So I'm going to add a selective colour layer now. So selective colour, and I'm going to create a clipping mask. So it just affects the layer below, and I'm going to increase the magenta in it so that the red on the flame starts to look a little bit pinker. So I'm just using the red channel. You can see if I take the magenta out, it goes more green. I want to make it more pink. So you can see that colour starting to match a little bit closer. You can experiment with some of the other colours until you get what you think is a good balance. So if we take the yellow out, it will go more purple. If we add more in, it will go more of an intense red. And I'm going to duplicate that layer and then add one to the other layer below. And again, create a clipping mask. So if I turn off those two layers, we can see the flames go orange again. If I put them back on, we can see they start to kind of more closely match the colour in on the model. So you can keep adding as many different layers as you want to. So I could add some flames over here on the other hand as well, or more flames to this one if I felt it needed it. Just going to turn off this layer and just quickly mask out the edge of that one. Okay, there you go. If your edit looks anything like this, well done. Move on to the next one. Good job today.